So next step is the regular expression or Regex is a pattern used to match a sequence of characters in text. The search function from the RE module takes a Regex pattern and a string as its argument. Okay, it returns a corresponding match object if the pattern produces a match, otherwise it returns none. Okay, so from the module RE we are using the search function and pass the string which we want to check with another string. So here we are checking whether these two strings have anything in common, then it returns none. And now here we are checking whether these two strings have anything in common, then we are getting a match object where we have a span tuple in which we have the index from 0 to 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the last index is not included, and matches the string hello. Okay, call re.search with the string p as the first argument and patient id as the second argument. Use the AND operator to add the function call as the second expression to your. Okay, so what we have to do? Use AND operator to add the function call as the second expression to the value of your and to the value of f. Okay, so we have to remove quotes from here. Patient ID. Isn't patient ID a value? Okay, so patient ID here gives us I think the value. Yes, the value from there, and we are checking whether it has p in it or not, and we are attaching it to our existing key value. Okay, you can see that patient ID is none. Print it to the terminal because the lowercase p does not match p001. Okay, we are checking this value, not this. Okay, because the lowercase p does not match this value, and the AND operator returns the first false value of the expression. Okay, you want to ensure that a patient ID starts with letter P, but it can be either lowercase or uppercase. To modify the behavior of regular expressions, you can use flags. For example, we can give it third argument like re ignore case, so it will ignore the case of both of the strings. So we have to put here re ignore case, and yes, we are getting a match for P even if the cases are not same, and it will make this case insensitive, none replaced by the match. Okay, where match indicates the match and span its location in the string. So step number 27 is that regular expression can contain special characters like backstrings followed by a character. These sequences have a special meaning. If you have went through C++ or C, you might know that we call them escape sequence characters. these sequences have a special meaning. For example, \d matches a decimal digit. After the letter P, patient ID should have a series of numbers, so modify your Regex pattern to have the character P followed by the special modify your Regex pattern to have the character P. What is book here doing? We can put it like this even here. So now we are checking whether on the second position after the P, after the first character in our patient ID string, whether we have digit in that character place or not. You should modify your Regex pattern to PD. Okay, we only have to check for the second place only for now. Yes, matches the previous character one or more times. So okay, if we find \d in book, so we are checking whether we have a decimal in our string, so it will return the first match, which is 4, but the plus after that we check for even more of the occurrences of that specific special character. So we have to append, so we can do it like this to check for all of the places, but there might be a case in which our code may have more digits than 4 in the patient ID, so we have to make our code independent of the changes in the future. So here we have another operator which will check for this special decimal character more than one times in our patient ID. Okay, now that your Regex matches the letter P followed by one or more digits, one last thing you need to check is that no extra characters are found in the strings. Okay, to do that you can make use of another function from the RE module, the full match. Okay, after we have checked that whether one or more digits are in our patient ID after P, then we don't want any more extra characters in our string. For that purpose, we will use full match function from RE, which returns a match object when the Regex pattern matches the entire string and none otherwise. Okay. So we have to replace our search with full match. So it will check for the whole string and will return none in case if both of the strings don't have the same pattern, and a match object in case if both of the strings have same pattern. Okay, step number 30. Here we want to verify that the age is an integer, so add another key, age, to the constraint dictionary. Called instance is instance passing age and int. So we are checking whether the age value is int or not, and we will do the same that we did for the patient ID key value pair, but for now we are going like this. It should not only be an integer, it should be a positive integer greater than or equal to 18. Use the AND operator. Okay, and AND operator, add a second expression to the value of age to check there. Okay, we have to check whether age is greater than 0 and age is giving true. Should have, okay, age is greater than, okay, this is the condition, greater than or equal to 18. So step number 32 is we have to add another key, gender, and a comma, add gender, and verify whether it's a string, is instance gender string, and to check that the lowercase gender is in male, female. Okay, we have to check that whether the string, whether the lowercase gender, how do we convert it to lowercase? Okay, okay, we have to use in here gender.lower. We can use the string name here, we don't have to pass it the string, and yes, so we are converting our gender string to lowercase, and we are using in keyword to check the equality of our gender value to these two values in our tuple. Okay, so step number 33 is now add a key diagnosis to the constraint dictionary. Diagnosis for its value, write an expression that checks that diagnosis. So we have to check is its instance whether diagnosis is either an instance of str or not. So we can use a tuple here, str none. Okay, why we are getting an error? Is instance diagnosis. Okay, we have to put a comma here. Yeah, we are checking whether the is instance is string or whether the diagnosis value is none. So this is a new syntax or keyword, I think. Okay, so next we have to add a medications key, but comma here, medications for its value use is instance to check medications is a list. Okay, as you learned in the previous lesson, can be used to a list comprehension can be used to create a list starting from an existing iterable. Okay, we have to check another condition here, so we will use AND operator, and we will use list comprehension like this to create a list made by evaluating. To create a list, okay, what we are doing now, so medication key value pair includes this list with multiple strings. So we are going to check that whether all of these elements in the list are valid strings or not. So we will make a list comprehensions with this syntax. like for each I in medication, I for I in medication is instance I as well. Okay, it was right. No, check it analyst. What we are doing wrong here? Okay, so we are running the we are running over the medications list and assigning each of the list element to I, and we are checking that element in the list is a string or not, and we are putting those values as true in our list. So yeah, medication is true for 001, which only has one medications. But if we give it a dictionary which has more than one medications, it will write true that number of times, equal to the number of correct elements in this medications list. So if I give it 1, yes, we are getting two times, because the medication list in the second dictionary has all the elements as strings. So let's get it back to 0 and enter it. Yes. So now step number 36 is that the all function returns true if all the elements from the table passed to it are truthy and false otherwise. Okay, so this all function returns true for the iterable which has not a single false value, and it returns false otherwise. Pass the is instance str for the I. Okay, so we have to pass this list to all function to ensure that every element in the string is a string all. So we have to give it this string, give it this list. So yes, so what it will do, it will as I have told you that there are certain dictionaries in which medication list has more than one element, so we will get more than one true here, but we want to check them as a whole that the medications list has no values that are not string. So yes, this is it. Okay, step number 37, add one last key, last visit ID. So last visit ID, for its value use is instance to verify that last ID is a string. Last visit ID is the string. Why it is an error? Okay, we again forgot the comma. It's time to use another regular expression. Similarly to what you have already done, use the AND operator to add expression. Okay, so this will be the same as we did with the patient ID. Okay, so is instance add operator. On the right side, use the full match. Okay, we are going to check whether the last visit ID's value is same to a string pattern we give it. If yes, it will give us a match object. If not, it will give us none. And use match from the okay. Then we have to write match. Did we do that? Yes. Or match. And we have to pass it ID, which is to ensure that we start with the letter V, either lowercase or uppercase. So we are going to add ignore case. So V followed by one or more digits. Okay, we already did that with \d plus. So ignore was the third argument. Now we will give us the string for which we are checking it against. So it was last visit ID. Okay, what we did wrong. So okay, it was re.ignore, and yes, we are getting that. So the match object is gives us the full match where the first letter is if, and we are ignoring the case of the letters, and we are checking whether there are one or more digits in that list or not. So step number 39, constant dictionary is complete. You will change the return statement of invalid string to make it return a list of invalid keys. Okay, we have to return invalid keys. From there, use a list comprehension syntax. Return a list that evaluates key for each key value in. Okay, so we have to return a list comprehension. So we have to use a list comprehension to make a list and return it. Return a list that evaluates keys for each key value. Okay, returns a list that evaluates key for each key value. Okay, we are just returning the keys from the constraints. List comprehension also accepts if clauses to filter out elements from an iterable. After that, for key we have to write if statement. Since you want to return a list containing only valid keys, to check so that each key is added to the list only when value is falsy. So if not of value. Okay, not we have to use not. Yes, so what we are doing here, we are iterating over the key value pairs of constraint dictionary and unpacking those values in key value variables, and then we are only returning or putting those values or putting those keys in our list which have a false value. So this if statement will only occur when the value is false. So and that key will be put into the dictionary, into the list. So now the first find invalid records function is complete. Now remove print find. Okay, we have to remove this print record from our code. Okay, so step number 42 is going back to the validate function after the two ifs and still inside the for loop. Validate function after the first two ifs. Okay, still inside the loop. Invalid records, then assign it to the call find invalid records using the double star operator to unpack dictionary. So here we are already calling a dictionary in our medical records list. So we will give it a dictionary which will only give us the values from the key value pairs. Okay, we have to pass it as argument. Yes, so 95% complete. So only 2 steps are left now. So if you pass in validator to validator function list containing non dictionary elements or dictionaries with missing or invalid keys, Python will raise attribution error or type error respectively. Feel free to verify it by modifying the medical record list. To avoid that, after setting is invalid to true, use the continue. If the dictionary in the medical records list is not of the dict type, and when the dictionary keys are not in our key set, so we don't want to check for the invalid records because it will give us attribute errors and type errors. So we have to avoid that, and we have to skip that iteration completely. So we will use continue statement in both of the invalid cases. Okay, so it will be outside of the print statement. Okay, so we have to write like this. Okay, so yes, only the last step. So right after the invalid records variable, we have to create a for loop. To iterate over it. Okay, in the same for loop we have to create a nested for loop in which we have to iterate over it. We have to iterate our invalid records variable, which will give us which is returning us a list of invalid keys. For invalid record, we can use dictionary dot get and the key name. This will give us the value, and we need to take up the key from invalid and look up the variable history. Okay, position or index refers to the current dictionary medical records. Okay, so we are going through a specific dictionary in our validate record in our for loop. So this represents all of the testing on just one dictionary. So we are going through the invalid records of that specific dictionary. So dictionary will not change for that specific iteration of the main for loop, and index of the dictionary will also remain the same as that in our outer for loop. So here there is something wrong. We have to write these quotes. So what we can do, we can change these to double quotes, the outer ones to double quotes, and then this will work correctly. But if we want to use single quotes all over the our string, but we want to specifically print this single quotation marks, we can use the backslash so that it does not confuse it with the outer quotes of the main print string. So yes, we are getting it, And for loop, yes, I have already told you that. Review your code so far. If you need to remind yourself of loops and variable already created, then set invalid to true. Okay, after that for loop we have to set invalid is invalid, which means this dictionary is invalid. We have to set it true. Feel free to test the validate function with invalid. With that, the medical validator workshop is complete. Okay, insert now your new for loop. Okay, so we are what I did. Okay, I accidentally reloaded it and push it right here. Control save, control enter. And yes, our medical validator workshop is complete. So if we are getting any invalid key, we are setting true, invalid true for it. And after that, for loop we are checking that whether is invalid is true, then we will return false. Where we are returning false. Okay, so this become a very long validate. Okay, so we have a valid record. Let's change some things here like P. So we have an invalid format and invalid keys. Okay, so yeah, this is it for today. I hope you understood all of these. If you did not, you can ask me questions in the comment section. And this took a lot of time, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And till the next video, Allah Hafiz.